Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, and the thumbs up. Appreciate it a lot. I am in a lookout tower, so to speak, between two lakes. The one behind me, the one you're seeing, is Danao, and the other one is a tongue twister, Balin Sasayao. It's a little larger. They're both freshwater lakes. They're way up in the mountains here, about 13 kilometers off of the beach highway. But it's just, the weather is beautiful. 70, I'm going to say 75, just gorgeous. I love it. Apparently there's carp and tilapia in these lakes, but apparently no one's allowed to fish. That's a shame, but that's you have to respect what they're trying to conserve. That place, I want to just reverse this. That's the larger lake, and that little green roof that you see way over there is where I started out. So it was quite a trek over rocks all the way. It's a rock path. I mean, larger boulders type of thing that you have to navigate, and it could be difficult for some folks. It was a workout for me. Of course, I'm not in really good shape, considering how you were, a few years ago. But it's a good workout. So is this place paradise, or is it peril? Well, depending on your perception, depending on your awareness or how you're impressed about a place, you may call it paradise. I know several guys that have come here, expats that is, and they say this is paradise. Now, that's a very positive attitude to have, considering that where they come from, they're probably comparing it. It probably is paradise, from the rat race, from the you name it. The could be political situation. It could be any situation. The cost of living, etc., etc., etc. So that in effect, yes, it's paradise. Again, depending on your take. Is it utopia or heaven? If you look in the dictionary, that's what paradise translates, is utopia and heaven. Well, I wouldn't say so, because the antonym for heaven, I think you know what it is. So, depending on your perspective and what you're comparing, it could be paradise. Now, are there negatives? Well, are there negatives in the country you came from? Perhaps that's why we left. Of course there are. Well, the first few times I came here to the Philippines, I noticed a smell, not such a nice smell. I noticed garbage everywhere in different areas. Garbage as in just wrappers just dropped. And so that's going to be different for you. I'm not sure if there's any law in place to counter that. I just don't know. It doesn't seem to affect rural areas, because there's garbage all over. You want to take a photo of a beautiful place, and well, you have to raise the lens because you want to avoid all the garbage. So that is a little distressing. What about bugs? Yeah, well, bugs, roaches, ants can be a problem in the house. Mosquitoes, you bet. There's ways to control them. In the country, in the provincial areas, where I was for a year, there was cobras. I saw 3 of them. So there's negatives, if you want to consider them negatives. Infrastructure, well, the thumbnail will show what the electrical is like. Had 2 long brownouts in the past week or 2, and that's what you need to contend with. The roads, some are very nice, and you get off the beaten path, and they're not so nice. Sidewalks, if you're handicapped, it might be a real serious problem for you. There's holes in the sidewalk, and usually no signs. Some areas are very hard to navigate just if you're normal as far as your health goes, with no incapacities. So it could be a real struggle if you can afford to live in a place like Makati, which is the most progressive city in Metro Manila. Well, you won't see that there. That's a very nice place. Otherwise, you're gonna see that. You're gonna run into that. And going along with the roads, do I need to even mention the drivers, the driving? That was a super large adjustment for me. But you know, you get to drive like they drive, very carefully, mind you. But you take the same approach when you get into an intersection. If there's a hole, you got to take it. Then the other lane will make way for you. That's just how it is. So there's that peril, if you want to call it that. Processing paperwork. It's a different ball game. Here they are fractionally automated, so you're not going to get the same type of service as maybe what you expected or what you received in your home country. And believe me, the procedures are so different, and there's so much runaround and paperwork, but that's how it's done here. If you're on prescription medication, that may be an issue for you if you can't afford it. But the majority of those are 3-4 times as expensive as what they were in the States, maybe more than that even. I'm not in any, thankfully, but I do take the equivalent of Flonase, which is in the States, it's over the counter. It's a nasal spray for allergies, seasonal allergies. Well, I bought at Sam's Warehouse in Costco. You get 5-bottle package for $27 to $30. One bottle here cost $18. That was 2 years ago, so perhaps it's $30 by now. I don't know. So that's an issue you need to consider too. It's not necessarily a peril, but it could be a negative for you. So when I got here, first thing came through my mind was I navigated through the system, etc. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do it this way? It'd be so much more convenient for everybody and less work. Well, I was reminded of a quote by some wise person that said, yesterday I was clever. I wanted to change the world. In my case, the Philippines. But today I'm wise because I'm changing myself. And really that's what it boils down to. You get acclimated, you get used to the process, you get used to everything that's different with a little change of attitude and perception. The other thing is, I had to realize I'm not in my own country anymore. So I do need to show respect, whether the person or the entity is deserving of it or not as a reflection of them or how they do things, but I need to show respect as a reflection on my own character. So that's a more positive approach, wouldn't you say? I like what one of our presidents, Abraham Lincoln, everybody knows him, right? Said at one point, we can complain about the rose bushes having thorns, or we can rejoice and be happy that the thorn bushes have roses. So it's a perception. It's a choice that we make. And yes, the Philippines can be paradise in that respect. Nature lovers would love it here. I mean, it's so peaceful here. I just hear birds, the wind on my back, and it's just a wonderful place. There are many, many nice places, some of which I've been at just recently. All the falls, well, 3 of them, in the area of Dumaguete, and there's hot springs, and well, there's this place. I'm not sure where else is going to be next, but I'd like to visit those places to enjoy. The scenery can be astounding, just really beautiful and relaxing. So from that perspective, yeah, nature lovers would love it here. The people are another reason for liking it here. They're a very warm, hospitable, accepting people, and you will notice that. Now, are there exceptions? Of course, but for the most part, you will enjoy it. So I'm going to close with just suggesting that we just stop and smell the roses. Didn't get much of a chance in our lifetime at where we come from, possibly, but today you can. If you contemplate moving here or are already here, just take a moment and smell the roses. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Bye now.